Okay, so here we are at the end of Arc 20, about 2/3 of the way through Worm. And this was a good one. I really, really liked this arc. As I was kind of saying in Arc 19, there's not a lot that happens in Arc 20 in terms of like the quantity of major events, but the quality of the major events is fucking massive. It starts with Skitter. I guess it's more starting with Taylor hanging out with her dad, talking about like, kiddo, you should maybe go back to school. Yeah, but I'd really rather not. I'm doing some work. I'm not going to tell my dad what I'm doing, but I'm doing some work. I feel like this is probably better for me, and maybe I should tell my dad something, but I don't know, and I just want to have a nice lunch with him later. I'll meet him later, and me thinking to myself, I have a feeling you're probably not going to get a chance to have that lunch. I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this. So then she goes Skitter mode, goes into her territory, and has to deal with some punks. I don't remember what they did. I think like they were being racist to, was it a Japanese couple? Like I said, I'm a little shoddy on the details. What I remember is Skitter saying, I've added a new kind of bug to my repertoire because now I fucking have bullet ants. And putting bullet ants on the dudes' bodies. And you're like, okay, here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to go straight to the police and turn yourselves in. And the punks are very much like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Fuck you. But sure, if that's what we got to do. Then the bullet ants start biting, and the dudes are screaming. They're running. After they've made it a way back, she bites them again, just to kind of give them that reminder. And then the Japanese couple, I think one of them was like, hey, I asked you to be lenient toward them. And cold-blooded slumlord Skitter just says, I was. And I loved that. Like, that was so fucking brutal. So Charlotte has gone back to school. Sierra is no longer working for her. I don't know where Sierra is, because she had said, she's like, I don't really want to do the supervillain shit anymore. So I don't know if she's still in Brockton Bay, if she got out. If she did get out, I assume she took Bryce with her. No idea if we ever see them again. Charlotte's at school and is texting Taylor like through their code to essentially say, someone is asking about you, and it seems like maybe they like know something. And I don't remember if she specifically, I think she did call it, like say it was Greg by name or kind of alluded to him, and then Taylor's like, oh my god, I know who that is. I really don't want to deal with this shit today. So she goes to the school, and she notes the dichotomy of the students. You can tell the students who left Brockton Bay when everything went to shit and have now come back, and the students who stayed. And she goes to the school, meets up with Greg, and he's like, it's you! Like, I figured it out, I know you're Skitter, blah, 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 blah. And he's really excited to have learned this, to hang out with Taylor, who he's got a thing for, and to also essentially say, if I could figure this out, other people could figure this out too. You need to be careful. Maybe having, like, an acolyte, and I'm using, like, the Pendragon term for it. But if you could have, like, an acolyte, like, someone who doesn't do all the crazy shit, but can, I don't know, like, be your eyes and ears on the ground, blah, 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 like, can I help? And Taylor just like, Greg, no, I'm not Skitter. What the fuck are you talking about? You sound insane. You sound deranged. I'm sorry, dude, but no. And then slowly but surely, the excitement leaving Greg's face. Like, it was really sad, but it was kind of fucking funny. And after Taylor deals with Greg, she's like, cool, now I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go meet up with my dad. We're going to have lunch. It's going to be great. Who should she run up to but Emma motherfucking Barnes? And Emma tries to start shit, and Taylor, who at this point has dealt with an Endbringer, the Slaughterhouse 9, has blown a man's brains out. She does not give a fuck. I love the interaction with Emma so much, because of how little it matters at this point in the story. Taylor has grown so much, has underwent so much insane bullshit, that a schoolyard bully does not even register anymore. And the more she tells Emma, you don't matter to me. Like, yeah, you had power over me. That's past tense. I'm beyond you. I've outgrown you. Can you just, like, stop and get out of my way so I can leave? And Emma just gets more and more mad and more desperate. And then as it's going on, Taylor's like, I can see how desperate she's getting. I'm getting under her skin now. Like, this is a weird role reversal. I'm not especially enjoying the role reversal because this doesn't fucking matter. And then Emma pulls out her trump card. Hey, Taylor? You remember the fact that you know how your mom died, right? You know, she was texting while driving. Did you know it was your fault? Because here's the thing. You were at my house that night, and you were supposed to call your parents, let them know that you were okay, or that you were spending the night, whatever the fuck it was. And you didn't. And your mom was driving, and she was texting you to make sure that her little girl was okay. It was your fault. Your carelessness that got her killed. And your dad blamed you. And for so long, remember when he was so distant from you, Taylor? It's not just because he was grieving, it's because he blamed you and he hated you. And he still loves you as his daughter, but he hates you, the person. And Taylor just has this moment of, I never thought about that before. Wow, I gotta hand it to you, Emma. That's a new one. That's a good one. That's, You've almost made me give a shit about this conversation. Damn. Fuck you. Hold up, I'm getting a call. Oh, hey, Dad, what's up? Yeah, I'm just talking to Emma. She's talking shit. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll see you later. And then Emma, like, fucking tackles her and gives her a wall slam. Like, what? And then she drops her phone, and then Emma ends up getting, like, grabbed by a guard. And she's like, yeah, sorry about that. Emma's just being a piece of shit. I'm gonna go to the principal's office to deal with this. I'm fine. I'll see you soon. In the middle of Emma delivering her knockout blow, Taylor just, hold on a second. Let me take a call from my dad, who you're insinuating doesn't love me. Do you love me? Yeah. Oh. Are you saying that you love me, princess? Okay. Unlike the last video, I am going to pause right here, then let the dog out. There we go. Who let the dogs out? It was me. I did it. But so Taylor and Emma end up getting taken to the principal's office. A couple other bystander kids who stayed in Brockton Bay like get to go and like give their testimony. The principal's like, okay, from what it sounds like, Emma, sounds like you were a real piece of shit. You're gonna be suspended. Fuck you, Miss Taylor. You need me to like do a statement, like I blah 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 blah. So Taylor, as this is going on, and Taylor realizes for the first time in the entire story thus far, someone actually gives a shit about what Taylor has to say. At least in a school setting. He's like, oh my god, they're not just taking Emma's word for it. I'm heard? My thoughts matter. This is nice. This is different. A little too different. Is this a trap? Am I at a Lotus Eater machine? Is this someone's power? This is literally too good to be true. And it slightly is, because the principal works for Lisa. That's like, oh, well, there went my faith in the school system, because for a second I thought it was because I mattered. No, it's because I mattered. Fuck me, I guess, but I appreciate it. So Taylor then ends up getting a coded message saying, you need to fucking leave because there are people here on your ass. And a couple of the wards, because they're in Arcadia High, end up going into costume. It's Kidwin and Clockblocker. Triumph is there. Was Triumph? I think Triumph was there. There were a couple other dudes. I don't remember who they were. I think they were new. There was the one guy that can make like a cone. Was it like a cone of fire? I don't super remember. But like the way Taylor figured out how his power worked and how to get around, I thought was super neat. But the big ones are Defiant and Dragon. So Double D is in the area. And what ends up happening is Taylor, you know, she's able to use her bugs by trying, she's not drawing attention to herself, but is doing what she can to like fight off Kidwin, fight off these other people, try to escape. Then she gets caught by Defiant and Dragon, completely out of costume. And you get this really long scene, I say like, I think it's a chapter or two, of Taylor in the lunchroom with all these other students as Defiant and Dragon are like, we know who you are. We have come to arrest you. And Taylor saying, that's fucked up. That is low. You're exposing me? You're outing me? After everything I've done. I fought the Slaughterhouse 9 and got them out of Brockton Bay. I took care of Coyle. I took care of a kidnap. Now again, other people helped too. Taylor has done a lot of this. Like, I have taken care of so many people in this city. They are provided for, secure, maybe not happy, but as close to happy as they could be in this shithole because of me. And after all of this, you're gonna out me? Okay. Just when I thought the PRT couldn't sink any lower, you go and do a thing like this. And the entire time, Dragon and Defiant are just saying, we're gonna be honest, we really didn't want to do this. It's out of our hands. If it means anything, we think this is bullshit, we think this is stupid. Taylor kind of realizes, like, wait, there's so many people here I could take as hostages. I'm not gonna do that, I'm not a piece of shit. But they don't know that. Are they trying to get me to take hostage? That's what they want. They want me to take all these students hostage, so then they can be justified and say that I took a school hostage, so they had to bring me in. You motherfuckers! I think it's Dragon who's like, yeah, like, the boss told me that this was the plan, and I told them this plan won't work. It's fucking stupid, but here we are. You've got Defiant there because he wants to apologize. He's like, look, I really fucked up in handling... Okay, I hear the dogs again, so I'm gonna... Like, I really fucked up in handling that situation when you wanted to be a mole for the PRT. I should have been more understanding. I should have tried to treat you better. I'm sorry. I think Taylor referred to it as like AA, Assholes Anonymous. I got a kick out of that. That was great. She's like, okay, it's a little late for apologies, generally speaking. Also, with this shit going on, outing my secret identity, it's a little fucking late for apologies, Arms Master. It's Defiant now, Arms Master, but I don't know. Thanks. And then you get the bombshell that the reason they are doing this, not just like, hey, boss's orders, is because they're like, out of all the possibilities, this was the possibility with the best chance of success. And Taylor thinks about that for about 2 seconds and goes, they're talking about the probability of future outcomes they use Dinah. How'd you find that out? You know how we found that out. Did you have to force her, or was she willing? You don't want to know the answer to that question. And what I find so interesting about that is, either way, it's fucking awful. Either this child was manipulated, potentially like abused or tortured to get this information, which is fucking awful, showing that the PRT are just as low as Coyle. Or The implication I get is we didn't have to do any of that. She was perfectly willing to help. And so all of that work you did to get that girl free and to save her, you stained your hands with a man's blood to save this child. And she still gave us the information to get rid of you. That's pretty fucked up. Like, that's cold as fuck. But I mean, I don't know. Dinah probably like, all right. Dinah's like Doctor Strange, you know, she could do the like, okay, this is the only way we all survive Jack Slash, which is kind of a big thing in the next arc with the whole cutting ties thing. But I found that whole scenario of you don't want to know how we got the information. It's like, yeah, both ways are fucking awful. Super interesting. And then Taylor just goes full Skitter. And this is one of my favorites. Like, I love the thing with Emma. Taylor just putting Emma in her place and then down peg after peg after peg was cathartic as fuck. This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole series so far, is of Taylor in that, like, lunchroom just saying, okay, no bullshit. You got me. I'm Skitter. And you see Emma in the corner just going pale and realize, like, with every subsequent thing Taylor says, just realizing, oh my god, I did this. Oh my god, I've been bullying Skitter. Oh my god, she could have done anything to me at any time and had the force of will not to. And then there's a point where, like, a little centipede starts crawling on Emma and she freaks the fuck out. It's great. And then Skitter's like, you want to know the shit I've done? I've killed a man. I blew his brains out. I gouged another man's eyes out. And I emasculated him. I did this. I did this. I did this. And here's all the good I did, too. I'm a supervillain. And you're outing my identity when I have done nothing wrong here today. What a bunch of assholes. You want me to take all these fine people hostage? Is that what you want? You want me to play into my villain role? Students, I will not be taking you hostage. Here is what I will do instead. If you support me, because you know the things I have done for this city, the blood, sweat, and tears that I have shed for you and all of you, I ask you to stand with me so we can leave. I am not gonna fight you, Defiant. I'm not gonna fight you, Dragon. I'm going to leave. And she has this I am Spartacus moment where like 100 students, I don't remember the exact number, it was like 100 students or so, get up and just walk out with her. She's like, okay, do you guys want to be the assholes and attack a bunch of students who are just peacefully walking out? Because be my fucking guest. What a scene. They also talked about how like this plan had like a 98 or 99% chance of survival. And I know in the past, I have been very critical of Taylor's consistent ability to win and not suffer consequences, like direct consequences for stupid or reckless plans. There is that little part of me that goes, this had a 98% chance of success and she still got out, even without Coyle, like giving them a second crack at everything. Really? The other 99% of my brain goes, no. That was cool. Like, that was really cool. That made a lot of sense. I love that scene so much. She just walks out of there. She wants to go see her dad, but there's cops everywhere. There's PRT over there. So yeah. She just sends in a butterfly, and it just perches on her dad's finger, and that's how she says goodbye. That was a great arc. That was, like I said, it's only like 20 minutes. Like, I saw some interludes to talk about. I was like, yeah, not a lot happened in terms of the quantity of events. But Taylor just, like, she got her catharsis with Emma, which was fantastic, and then she got her identity revealed. This is the end of Taylor Hebert. And we'll see what happens in later arcs, though, but I'm like, that's wild. It isn't just Skitter now. Then we get the interludes. The first interlude was, it was Interlude Stan, who's, like, just a reporter. And it's a dude, like, going, interviewing people, like, getting video of Taylor, like, giving her speech and all the shit that happens, and blah, 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 blah. What's great is you see a bunch of different people watching it. So you see Sophia watching this, realizing who Skitter is, and getting really pissed off that, A, she, like, kind of putting two and two together and realizing I am the reason that Skitter exists. It's because of what I did to Taylor, and because of what I did to Taylor, I'm in here. Fuck me, I hate this bitch. That was amazing. You've got the Slaughterhouse 9, like Jack and Bonesaw specifically watching it, and then Jack's like, huh, this is kind of fun. You know what? I hope this works out. I hope things work out for Skitter. I hope things work out for Brockton Bay. And then Bonesaw's like, Jack, you're just saying that because it'll be more fun when you end the world later. Well, yeah, I mean, despair isn't fun unless there's hope first. Ooh, poo, poo, poo. Like, he went kind of Monoku with her for a second. Then, Bonesaw is also working on the cloning shit. It seemed like she got Hook Wolf ready to go get cloned. Jack was about to go. And he notes all the different pods. Like, all right, like, here's one, like, I guess for crawler clones, Siberian, Shatterbird, like, all that kind of shit. And he notes one named Greyboy. I don't know much about Greyboy. I read the Numberman's interlude in 21. It seemed like Jack had some kind of hate boner for Greyboy. I don't super know, like, the details of it. But there's at least a little hint there. It's like, all right, Jack is maybe not happy that this one is coming up. I think there was someone else besides, oh yeah, there's the PRT, and just the PRT bigwigs, like Pigo is there, Alexandria and her civilian identity is there, Tag, who's the current head of the Brockton Bay PRT, having a conversation about what we should do. Defiant and Dragon coming in and saying, this was fucking stupid. We know this was fucking stupid. There need to be big changes in the PRT. We need a clean house. Dragon saying, I don't want to fucking help anymore. Like, I am willing to step away and not run the birdcage. Like, cool. We have the Dragon Slayers. They can do that if you don't want to. So, Dragon's going to stay on, which means Defiant is going to stay on. And again, like, I really like the politics. My favorite part of this chapter easily was Danny. And Danny sitting there watching this recording of his little girl who he has loved and he has treasured, but who he has seen hurt and who he has seen suffer, and just thought so many times, I wish I could be there for her. I wish I could make her happy. I wish I could make her feel secure. I want to help my daughter, but I don't know how, and my daughter won't let me help her. And then seeing her go, fuck yeah, I killed the dude. I gouged another man's eyes out. And him just watching this in abject horror as his friends are around him saying, like, Danny, it wasn't your fault, man. Like, hey, you shouldn't watch this, man. Hey, the first 8 rounds are on us. Like, what do you need, Danny? We've got you. You know, maybe she'll come back. And it's like, she won't. She already said goodbye. Like, I feel so bad for this man. Then we get the second interlude. And we get Accord. As a Panacea stan, as an Amy Dowens enjoyer, Accord might end up becoming my favorite character by the time Worm is done. I fucking love this dude. I listened to like 5 minutes of his interlude and I realized Accord is like the fusion dance of Adrian Monk and Jigsaw. This is amazing. This is a dude who is so OCD, he would say, no, I have CDO because it needs to be in alphabetical order. Because if it's not in alphabetical order, it's all wrong and it needs to be fixed. I see a problem and I want to fix it and I immediately know exactly how to fix it. This is how much time, this is how much money, this is what the fuck was that? This is all the stuff that I need to make it happen. And I can see it in my head. But no, I can't focus on that because I need to focus on what's important. This dude is intrusive thoughts, the character. You know, Joker is all I have are negative thoughts. Accord is all I have are intrusive thoughts. It was great. He has only 2 employees left because they all got murked by the 9. And Citrine forgets to call him sir. And he's like, I need to kill her for that. I need to kill her. He nearly fucking murks one of his last 2 people. And he's just looking at her like, she's useful. She's really, really useful. And just look at her. She's beautiful. She's perfect. Not in like a sexual way. What the fuck would I do with sex? I just mean in terms of a specimen. She's perfect. But what if she was dead? Because she didn't call me sir, because everything has its place, and if something's placed is wrong, it bothers me, and when it bothers me, I need to fix it. But if I kill her, there's gonna be blood everywhere, and blood is gross, blood is disgusting, but then I can clean it, and if I get to clean it, I love cleaning up a mess. I love him. This dude, the way he makes it sound at one point is like, I got bored one day, so I solved world hunger. I mean, he talked to me, he's like, it's like, I had an idea about like, how could we fix world hunger? So I like made a whole dossier about it. I sent it to my boss. I sent it to the UN. And now I'm a supervillain, so I can work to make the world a better place because I have the ideas to make it happen. But the way it was presented really sounded like, yeah, I was bored, so I just spent like 6 hours solving world hunger, and now I've done it. Like, have you seen that episode of King of the Hill? It was one of the more recent episodes. I don't know if the reboot has come out yet. It was in like 2010 recent episodes. The one where Khan has not PTSD, bipolar disorder. And they talk about how when Khan is manic, like he's super helpful, can do all this crazy shit, and then when he's in the depressed state, he doesn't do anything. And Dale has this one line where he's like, yeah, we were hanging out with Manic Khan, and we were working through all the presidential assassinations. We were halfway through McKinley before we fell asleep. Like, that's Accord. Also, that's one of my favorite jokes in all of King of the Hill. When they're waiting for the medication to kick in, and they don't know if Khan is going to come out as manic or depressive. And, like, they're all just waiting, because if it's depressive, like, they can't finish this task, but if it's manic, they can finish it. And then he opens the door, it's manic! It's so funny to me. So, Accord, my Adrian Monk Jigsaw best boy, goes into this meeting with the other villains. He talks about how much he fucking hates Tattletale. He just wants to kill her on the spot. He hates all of Skitter's bugs, like they're just gross and disgusting, but slowly starts to realize, no, like there's an order to them. Okay, now that I can see it, I can appreciate it. It's kind of a work of art. You get to meet some of the newer gangs coming into Brockton Bay. There's the Fallen, who is like an Endbringer cult. That's fucking cool. You have the Teeth, who are these crazy assholes who like wear trophies from their victims, and their leader, Butcher, I almost said her quirk because it's a My Hero shit. Her power is she is one for all. Yeah, one for all, not all for one. Where it's a power, and then if you kill Butcher, you get that power plus your own power, and it stockpiles, and it gets stronger and stronger, and all of them are inside of you, and you can hear their voices and communicate with them. Like, holy fuck, this is just one for all. This is amazing. I can't wait to see more of this character. If there's one problem I got with Arc 21, we'll get to it when we get to Arc 21. But, the supervillain meeting at Skitter's like, look, okay, you're in my territory now. This is how shit works. This is my city. You are essentially paying rent to live here, and these are the rules. There's an Endbringer attack. We're all helping. We're an Endbringer cult. We don't do that. Yeah, I know. You're not going to last long in my city. If you're not going to help us, then get the fuck out now. And there are a couple other rules here and there, but she pisses off the Teeth. She pisses off the Fallen, and Accord's like, was that the best idea? Yeah. If they're not gonna last long, I'd rather isolate them so we can get rid of them. There's a point where, what was his name? Velfor, I think? Which, I hear his name, and it makes me think of Vilfor from Count of Monte Cristo. Not in terms of his character, just the pronunciation of Balfour and Vielfor. I don't know, that's kind of neat to me. Nothing important, it just made me smile. He's talking shit, and she's like, why should we listen to you? You were literally a child. We saw that shit. You're a 16-year-old girl. Why should I be scared of you? Because I can solo your entire team right fucking now. And Accord is just sitting there going, she's not lying. I can tell she's not lying. Oh, I want to figure it out. I want to figure it out so bad. I don't know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh, I can see it. She's got spiders everywhere, and there's webs connected to everything. She can just pull people out the fucking window and they'll die. And then he just looks at Valfor. Dude, she's not lying. I can see it. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if you piss her off, you are going to die tonight. So Accord and the ambassadors strike a deal with Skitter and the Undersiders, and he calls up Cauldron to be like, all right, I need like 5 things of like power stat for some of my new soldiers, blah, blah, blah. He talks about how Coil was a good friend of his. He's like, not many people get to be my friend. And, you know, I'm kind of sad that he's gone, but I don't know. Like, I'm basically going to be the new Coil of the story, so we're good. That's basically it. I think that's kind of all I had to say. This arc was great. Like I said, like the Skitter stuff, or like everything with Taylor in her story, phenomenal. The first interlude, I think, is pretty damn good, especially the Danny scene. It ended with Accord, and it ended on a fucking bang. I love this motherfucker. I cannot wait to see more of him. I got to see a little bit more of him in 21. I think 21 has its problem. There's like one thing in 21 I fucking hated. Most of it I liked quite a bit, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So I'll see you later. 30 minutes, damn, that's like half as long as usual.